My name's Dave DeBow, founder of MoneyPartnerFormula.com, and this show is built for everyday real estate investors who are actively doing deals and looking to scale using other people's money. So if you're an active real estate investor and you want to get featured on this show to talk about your own real estate and capital raising experiences, then just go to daveinterviewyou.com. Now let's get rolling with this episode, and remember to subscribe for daily interview content.
All right, guys, welcome to Property Profits Podcast. I'm your host, Bryce Kaminsky, filling in for Dave Dubois. And have you ever wondered how one investor managed to replace their corporate job income through a mix of multifamily properties, flipping, wholesaling, and syndications? Well, today, my guest, Matthew Haddan, a diverse investor from coastal Alabama, is here to share his journey and strategies for success. Matthew, welcome to the show. Great to have you here.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
I'm not a history guy, but coastal Alabama, is that even a thing?
Yeah, Alabama's got a small coastline. It's a nice area. It's a little bit of a well-known secret, but I mean the population's actually booming in the county I'm in. It's the seventh fastest growing in the nation. So
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know that there was a coastal area. So let's before we jump into the whole corporate job to full-time real estate investor, how'd you get started in real estate?
well, I first invested through a REIT. I think that was back in 2008. And I just knew that 2008 was probably a good time to buy real estate because of all the corrections going on. But I didn't really know anything at that point, to be honest with you. I was so busy with other things in my life at that time. But anyway, as I got older, started having kids and corporate life and kids and household responsibilities and all that got to be pretty tiresome. So I started looking at different ways to bring in revenue and kind of quickly honed in on real estate and thought that would be a good investment. So fast forward a little bit, I own an 11 unit multifamily property. I've flipped a small multifamily property. I've wholesaled a house.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've also got involved into some other alternative cash flowing investments, ATMs, private lending, those types of situations. So in a nutshell, that's where I'm at today. Always looking to network, grow, look for new deals. Considering buying a business. Actually looked at that this week. Yep.
Nice, nice. So when you transitioned from your corporate job to full-time real estate investor, what were some key milestones that you knew you were heading in the right direction?
When I began to replace a good amount of my W-2 income, and I was smart that I kept my standard of living roughly the same because my income, pretty much doubled for a while because I had a healthy W-2 income, and then I, was doing pretty well with the investment income also. But I was careful not to get addicted to that lifestyle, so to say. I'm a pretty simple person anyway. I don't need a lot of extravagant things in my life. So, when I was able to replace the W-2 income fully, it made me feel like it was safe for me to go on this journey, so to say. And I could always go, get a job if I had to. So, I thought it was a good time to take faith. So.
Awesome. So you mentioned owning a small multifamily complex at 11 unit, flipping some properties, wholesaling. How do you balance
Right.
these different strategies, and what criteria do you use to kind of evaluate opportunities when there's so much in front of you?
Yeah. I have, pretty standardized criteria I use to evaluate a deal pretty quickly to know if I want to look at it further or move on. Um, so it's not, that time consuming to see if it's a deal I want to jump into further or not. So
So
a lot of my activities are pretty passive too. I'm also in some real estate syndications. I don't
mhm.
think I mentioned that in the last question. So.
Yeah, and I'm noticing that kind of trend. So because real estate can be super active if you want it to be, but you've made a it seems like you made a pretty clear position that your focus is to create more time and less work. Not work, but freedom is more important than being busy all the time. So how do you balance that? Because a lot of times active income is where people are making, flippers make a lot of money being super active. They're on site all day, da da da. How do you balance the expectations and income with the passive side of things? What have you found that's been able to say, this is good or better than these active investment types?
Yeah, I like it because you basically said it, it's freedom. I don't have to. I've had a property, and I made a nice profit, but at the end of the day, that property took up quite a bit of my time.
Mhm.
And I really learned that, especially heavy duty multi-unit flips is not something I want to do in the future. I really don't. Um, um, so, I mean, unless I could bought it at such a bargain that I could pay somebody to handle all the headache of bringing it up to par, I wouldn't want to touch it, to be honest with you. So,
So was that before or after kids? Like, did kids really frame time?
the kids kind of frame time because it got to the point where it's a little bit of a long story, but my wife has a pretty demanding W-2 career also. So it got to the point where my days a lot of times would start around 5:30, and then my evenings was spent with me, you know, doing all the household duties with the kids too, and putting them to bed around 8:30, and then starting, the next morning and doing it all over again. So it burned me out, to be honest with you, and I wanted to, find a way to buy some freedom back at that point, and you know, luckily I've been able to. So I still stay pretty busy, but it's nice because I control when I work and what I work on, and there's a lot of freedom there, and it's you know as long as the bills are paid and you have that financial freedom that you don't have to worry about the bills being paid, it can open you up to really look into some different things. So
Yeah, freedom really is what we're all out here searching for. So you mentioned investing in some MCA fund and ATM funds. Could you explain the investment vehicles, how they fit into your overall portfolio strategy?
yeah, so both of those are high cash flowing investments, and I kind of look at those as monthly paychecks. Again, that replace the W income, make sure the bills are getting paid. Uh, well, I can have more freedom to look for deals and work on things. Spend my time in ways that are more rewarding for me. So.
So when you look at your real estate, so far, what would you say your secret sauce is? What comes easy to you that other people might find difficult to do?
So I was an engineer in the corporate world, so numbers has always, been a strength for me. So I would say analyzing a deal, and then I'm pretty good about keeping my emotions out of the deals too. Either they make sense or they don't, and if they don't, you just walk away from them. It doesn't matter if it's a beautiful property if you can't make any money off of it.
Yeah. So with all the things you're doing, what are you doing to fund your deals these days?
Well, I still have income coming in, so I use that for other investments, and yeah, I mean it's part of the same old formula I've used to get where I'm at. I've always invested money, and for years um, because I didn't know there were really any alternatives, I put it all in basically mutual funds through 401ks and IRAs. But I've learned that you can invest your money in assets that'll cash flow, today, and you don't have to wait for, retirement to use them. And that's been a game changer for me. So,
So with these investments, are you raising capital? Are you bringing people along in some of these syndications, or how does that work? Or are you still raising money, or have you raised money in the past and you kind of pulled that down? What does that look like these days?
Yeah, so I'm always looking for deals and investors. I've got a small network of people I've known to grow and like and wouldn't mind investing with. And we collaborate on deals and possible JV partnerships. The deal's large enough, we'd look at syndication. So that's pretty much where I stand with that. But I'm always looking to network and grow my list of potential partners and investors.
So what do you look for in a partner and an investor when you're considering including them? Because it sounds like you've got a pretty well-oiled machine going. Putting someone in there that doesn't make sense might throw it off. So when you're looking at potential partners or investors, what's important to you?
Yeah, someone that you like, someone that you don't mind working with, because you're going to have challenging moments, and you want to partner with someone who's going to be fair, reasonable, someone you feel like you can work with. So someone you can trust, of course, that's huge. Know, like, and trust. That's what they always say. People invest with people they know, like, and trust.
So what's some ways that you're expanding that network of potential partners and investors?
Networking and trying to do more podcasts, attending networking events virtually, in person, all the above.
Nice. So when you're choosing network events, are they real estate related always, or do they kind of have a mixed bag? How do you go about choosing the right networking event?
Yeah. Uh, Real estate is definitely a big part of it. Probably most of the events I do are real estate. Some of them are mindset, probably 25% mindset, 25% business, and then 50% real estate. So.
So you found that, when you were in the corporate job, that real estate was the ticket out.
Yeah, I think for most, there's more millionaires created from real estate than any other asset class, and I think that's a smart move for a lot of people. There's people that are. I've got a neighbor, great guy, and he's brilliant at starting a business, growing the business, and selling the business. He makes good exit strategies. And I think he's more in love with that process than any individual business he's ever owned. He just loves the game of scaling a business, which that's good, and it works out well for him. So, you got people like that, and for somebody like that, it may make more sense to go the business route. But for me and my skill set, I think the real estate's worked out well. So yeah.
Is he a side question, I guess? Does he have kids?
He does have kids. Yeah.
So how's he? I guess because I was thinking that's an active thing to be building, starting, selling, building, starting, selling. He must have systems and procedures. So when you look at your investment strategy, what kind of systems and procedures do you have in place to keep you from spending too much time diving back in, getting too involved?
Yeah. Well, I've got you know, screening criteria that I use to look at any property. Streamlined everything I can as far as having a good accountant, good lawyer on the team, and um, just streamline my own internal uh, processes to be as efficient as I can. So.
So for someone who's thinking about getting started in real estate, what sort of advice would you have for an aspiring investor?
To invest in themselves first if they haven't. And I'm not talking about, you can go out and spend $30,000 on a course or whatever. I'm not talking about that. Read two or three books, kind of come up with ideal size property that you think you want to tackle. If you buy a large enough property, enough units, you can probably hire property management, which takes a lot of the headache off of you, which is nice. Uh, but just start that way, and if you like it, pursue it further. If you're love it, make a career out of it. And, it can be a very lucrative game. So, and it can be a
So one of the
passive
things
game if you
is
structure
like
it, the right way. So.
sometimes people don't love it. Do you feel like someone could not love it and still be like, some people don't love their jobs, but they enjoy the result of going to work? So, for people who maybe are doubting whether they love real estate or not, do you always love real estate every day when you wake up and when you're doing it? Or have there been moments where you're like, nah, maybe not?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like anything else. Everything has challenges. With the real estate, if you're going to be an active investor, you're going to have days where you're going to be like, man, is this worth this? That's just a part of it, though. I mean, it's true in, the W-2 world, the corporate world. I mean, any job, you're going to have days like that. If you want to be totally hands off, passive investor, well, as long as you invest in deals that make money, it's pretty hands off, no worries. So.
Yeah, yeah. If you can find those, fingers crossed to go out and find them, because there's always something. I don't think there's any money for free in this world. There's no free lunches. So, when you're looking at deals, do you prefer to have the money lined up and then go looking for a deal, or do you prefer to have the deal and then go looking for the money?
I've done it both ways, but I've always, if I wanted to close the deal, I was always able to gather the funds needed. So yeah.
So we talked a little bit before the show about this whole social media side of things. For people such as yourselves who've been in the business, how have you seen it evolve in its interaction with raising money and networking? Because, as someone who's been in the business now almost a decade, it wasn't that important. You could be like off the radar, but now it seems that you need to be kind of on the radar. What's your opinion?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of uncertainty going on in the economy. You can find somebody who will tell you the economy is very healthy. You can find somebody who will tell you it's not. I don't really want to debate. I have my viewpoints, but I don't really want to debate that right now. But anyway, long story short, it's gotten really tough to raise capital in general, and even your major players, people that are superstars in the industry, they can't raise capital like they've been raising capital. So it trickles down to every level. And I think those that are wise, do, leverage social media and other stages, not just social media, but, leverage every stage they can for exposure to grow their network and connect with people and do business. So.
Awesome, awesome. So on that topic, if people want to connect with you, they want to find out more, what should they do? How do they find you?
Yeah, so I'm easy to find on Facebook, Matthew Haddan. Haddan's Haddan. A lot of times people will spell it
With the D?
incorrectly, but it's Haddan. Also active on LinkedIn, not as active, but I'm on LinkedIn. Email is Matthew.Haddan@gmail.com. It's also a good way to get in touch with me. So,
Awesome, awesome. Well, I really appreciate you stopping by, Matthew.
thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Until next time, guys, we'll catch you on the next episode.
Hey there, I really hope you enjoyed that episode. And as always, if you want to listen to more daily interview content, make sure you subscribe. And if you're an active real estate investor and you're doing deals and you'd like to get featured on this show, then just head over to daveinterviewyou.com. Now at moneypartnerformula.com, we help real estate investors to create a process for predictably getting capital so they can do more deals without relying on hard money lenders or the banks. We do this by building them a private capital marketing system. Now, if you want help turning yourself into a big money capital attraction machine, then book a call with our team to see how we can help. Just visit moneypartnerformula.com to find out more. All right, take care, and we'll see you on the next interview.